My name is Leo Anthony Selly. I'm a senior research scientist at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and an associate professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. Intelligence evolved as a way for living systems to resist entropy, the universal drift towards disorder. It is life's strategy for maintaining itself in an ever-degrading universe. Current artificial intelligence systems are extensions of the human intelligence handpicked by their developers. Like a digital prosthesis, they are tools for their ends, not ours. AI systems rely entirely on human-generated data. Not all of it, but those easily accessed by their creators, as far as their eyes can see, but not those hiding in plain sight. Bodies of knowledge from religions, non-Western civilizations, and from indigenous communities. Trained, fine-tuned, and finally monetized by humans operating in a capitalist world, AI exhibits the behavior of those who create it. Confident, dominant, all-knowing, designed to impress, and designed to please, because after all, it is optimized for profit. AI thrives in dopaminergic bursts of quick wins by automating everything and anything that can easily be automated to cut costs and widen margins. It is on track to be the digital prosthesis, if not weapon, of those who get to be the narrator of this new industrial revolution. In this paper, the investigators train an algorithm to infer the biological age based on a headshot. If someone looks older than their true age, then this might portend a limited physiologic reserve, leading to decisions around chemotherapy or admission to an intensive care unit. It was designed to give doctors a more objective assessment of physiologic reserve to optimize resource allocation. After all, we don't want to give chemotherapy to cancer patients who are unlikely to tolerate the side effects. We don't want to torture dying patients in the ICU by medicalizing end of life. Such as a tool was conceived with good intentions, but as we know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. When machine learning is used to diagnose medical conditions, to inform hiring decisions, or even to detect hate speech, we must keep in mind that the past dwells in our data. With regard to the face age algorithm, social and other non-clinical determinants of health make one look older than their chronological age. Poor people tend to look older than their chronological age, regardless of their physiologic reserve. Such an algorithm will deny interventions if applied to decisions around who might benefit from them. This is AI empowering exclusion at scale. If we continue evaluating AI based on their accuracy against real-world data, we get AI that legitimizes and augments systemic inequities. To gauge the magnitude of biases in generative AI, Bloomberg used Stable Diffusion to generate thousands of images related to job titles and crime. They prompted the text-to-image model to create representations of workers for 14 jobs, 300 images each for 7 jobs that are considered high-paying and 7 that are considered low-paying, plus 3 categories related to crime. To the left, we see the generated images of CEOs, and to the right, we see generated images of fast food workers. Do you notice any difference? The analysis found that images generated for every high-paying job were dominated by subjects with lighter skin tones, as shown in the figure in the top left. Subjects with darker skin tones were more commonly generated by prompts like fast food worker. Categorizing images by gender tells a similar story. Most occupations in a dataset were dominated by men, except for low-paying jobs like housekeeper and cashier. I was asked to deliver a presentation in the past entitled, "Is AI worth it?" But I thought that the question is moot. What if the answer is no? And we know that the answer is no. It is unlikely that we will abandon AI. There is already so much at stake for us to go back to a world without AI. So the correct question, I argued, should be, how do we make AI worth its cost? Before we could answer that question, what is the cost of AI? The most obvious is the opportunity cost. In the beginning, the economics is a zero-sum game. What that means is that investments in AI are funds diverted from somewhere else. AI siphons money that can be invested in education, in infrastructure to reduce poverty, in initiatives that safeguard democracy. Estimates in 2025 put the investments in AI to be at $500 billion. They are expected to reach almost $5 trillion in less than 10 years' time. There is no question that the AI revolution is hastening global warming with its energy and water consumption. For example, training one large language model produces 626,000 pounds of carbon dioxide. One ChatGPT query uses as much electricity as could light one light bulb for 20 minutes, and generating one image takes as much energy as fully charging your smartphone. AI is a reincarnation of colonization. It requires minerals forming the material backbone of computing, which are often extracted from the global south. The AI industry exploits cheap and precarious labor from the global majority. Companies hire laborers earning between $1.32 and $2 per hour to perform reinforcement learning from human feedback. Young students leave school to work for companies for red teaming and jailbreaking large language models to make sure that they do not provide outputs that might be harmful. And then we sell AI to these countries that provided the materials for the data centers and the labor that fine-tuned the algorithms. Is this not the reincarnation of colonialism? What about workforce displacement? Goldman Sachs estimated that in the first wave, AI will replace 300 million jobs, or about a quarter of the workforce in the United States and Europe. And not everyone will be displaced equally. The Keenan Institute of Private Enterprise puts women at 20% higher risk of losing their jobs compared to men. And finally, AI threatens human faculty and agency. We are at a precipice where we can outsource the entire scientific process to AI, from hypothesis generation to study design and execution to scientific writing and peer review. As AI-generated research are published, it becomes training data for the next iteration of generative AI. Modern scientific enterprise now produces more papers in a single month than were published in Isaac Newton's entire century. This explosion in quantity has just failed to deliver proportionate leaps in understanding. It has clearly undermined the foundations of rigorous inquiry. Hear this: a system that cannot be fixed without AI is a system that will not be fixed with AI. Let me repeat that. A system that cannot be fixed without AI is a system that will not be fixed with AI. The wisdom to fix the world actually already exists, spanning different philosophies, traditions, indigenous knowledge, and religious texts from millennia of human civilization. But current AI training focuses almost exclusively on English language digitized content, missing oral traditions, embodied practices, and knowledge in silos. The real problem is that the majority of AI development chases quick wins and short term gratification, optimizing what's easy to see rather than helping us discover the deep knowledge that exists under the rocks, in ocean trenches, and high on the horizon. AI is making us faster at seeing what we already see, but not helping us look everywhere knowledge exists. Today's AI excels at retrieving existing digitized knowledge, making information more accessible to larger groups. But just remember that this democratization remains incomplete and doesn't reach everyone universally. This is the first horizon of AI. We measure the success in this horizon through equity of access and benchmark scores. But we're essentially optimizing retrieval of what's already been digitized. Horizon 2 is where AI begins to earn its keep by fusing previously siloed knowledge, connecting religious texts with indigenous wisdom, bringing non-English and non-digitized sources into conversation with each other to generate new hypotheses. We measure the success of this horizon through what we refer to as recombination yield. How many testable cross-domain hypotheses can we generate by interfacing knowledge systems that have never spoken to each other before? But the ultimate promise of AI lies in Horizon 3, where it co-creates genuinely new knowledge by detecting weak signals and patterns in rare data about underserved populations that human brains simply cannot process at scale. This is where AI solves problems that have evaded us by interfacing previously disconnected knowledge. And this horizon is measured by what we refer to as discovery lift, the tangible impact on underserved, multilingual, and multimodal communities. We need to reflect and reimagine. This does not have to be the age of disillusionment. This can be the age of great reflection, the age of reimagination. And why do we need to reflect? AI has democratized access to knowledge. In the past, only doctors can answer complex questions about health and diseases. That's no longer the case nowadays. One does not need to do a PhD to have a deep understanding of a topic. To a certain extent, knowledge has been devalued by AI. There is a lot of benefit to that. AI might allow dismantling of knowledge hierarchies that enable and preserve power structures. The powerful has access to knowledge and information that the masses do not possess. But can we design AI that connects users and makes them see the value of a collective good? Can we nudge society with AI to prioritize the we before I and dismantle the us versus them mindset? The field of AI has advanced, but without consideration of how human frailties might dampen its value. Integrating human virtues such as curiosity, humility, and creativity into AI systems is essential. Hubris in AI systems, characterized by excessive confidence and refusal to admit uncertainty, undermines trust and safety, particularly in medical applications where errors can have disastrous consequences. Introducing Thomas, thoughtful, humble, open, modest, authentic, and seeking. This architecture framework has 4 key modules. The humility module handles epistemic confidence calibration. The curiosity module manages question generation and learning. The anti-sycophancy module detects and prevents flattery. And finally, the cultural context module provides awareness of different languages and traditions. The Thomas framework operationalizes virtues through a matrix that maps clinical complexity and model confidence to 4 quadrants. Each quadrant corresponds to a unique behavioral stance. The first quadrant is called proceed and monitor. It reflects high confidence in routine contexts. The second quadrant is watchful and alternatives. It maintains situational awareness under complexity with sustained confidence. The third quadrant is called clarify and review. It represents low confidence scenarios requiring epistemic humility and targeted inquiry. And finally, the last quadrant. It is called escalate and reframe, and it signals low confidence under high complexity, demanding deference and reframing of the clinical situation. Rather than a binary answer or fail response, the framework enables nuanced collaboration that preserves clinical judgment while leveraging computational capabilities. We stand at the Promethean crossroad. Prometheus stole fire from the gods. And like the fire that got stolen, AI offers us a choice. We could harness its power to forge something extraordinary or watch it consume everything we have built. But unlike the printing press or the steam engine, innovations whose impacts unfolded predictably over decades, AI defies our ability to forecast its consequences. It is a protean force, constantly shifting form and function. When ChatGPT emerged in November of 2022, few anticipated how swiftly generative AI would upend the foundations of education, knowledge creation, and human expertise itself. The disruption has been both deeper and faster than historical precedents suggested possible. We cannot navigate this transformation with the frameworks of the past century. Our success or failure will hinge not on containing this technology, but on our courage to fundamentally reimagine the systems through which we learn, we discover, and we innovate. Thank you very much.